everyone, I'm Jake Greenberg and welcome to The Vibe. We've got a killer show for you this week. Natalie is here with student reactions to the election results from last Tuesday. My reaction? Looks like the Democrats should have read the fine print on that subprime mortgage. Now they've lost the House. Then, Jen Sarkis has an exclusive interview with Susan Fox, the VP of Government Affairs at Disney. Turns out that this Fox is a Lafayette leopard, and you won't want to miss her insight into Disney's stake in the election results. Next, we'll give you the scoop on which campus dorms are prime real estate and which ones you should avoid. Finally, Shannon will shed some light on just what the construction project down by the spot is all about. But first, let's kick the show off with the weekly calendar. Here's Darlene Cerullo.
Thanks, Jake. Can't wait to hear more about the election results. Now let's take a look at the weekly calendar to see what we have in store. Looking to start your weekend by making a difference? Come join us at Columbian-owned Terra Cafe for the Davis Peace Project reception and auction. Learn about how 4 Lafayette students traveled to Columbia on a $10,000 Peace Project grant to organize a summer program for underprivileged children. The reception and silent auction will take place tomorrow from 4:30 to 6 p.m. After enjoying the silent auction and reception at the Terra Cafe, head over to the Williams Art Center to witness an incredible performance by Philadelphia dance company's Philadanko. Tickets for tomorrow's 8 o'clock show are free for Lafayette students. After being wowed by Philadanko's dance moves, come to the Williams Art Center on Saturday at 8 p.m. for Lafayette's Evening of Acapella, where Cadence, the Corduroys, and Solfege welcome guest ensembles in the 8th annual celebration of song, benefiting the O'Neill Memorial Fund and Friends of Lafayette Music. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, Tuesday, November 16th is the last day to withdraw from courses. So if you've been falling asleep in that 8 a.m. lab science, you may want to consider accepting a W and cutting your losses. That's it for the Vibes Weekly Calendar. For more information, be sure to check it out online.
Well, I do know a few people that should probably take advantage of that withdrawal deadline. Of course, they're always asleep when I see them, so I'm not sure how to break the news. Maybe I'll just slip them a cup of that roasted Colombian brew from Terra Cafe. Now, let's shift our focus to the recent elections where the GOP has gained control of the House. Democrats still hold the Senate, but this shift in power will affect the way the nation is run for the next 2 years. Here's Natalie with what students think about the elections.
Today, Peter and I went walking around Lafayette campus to find out how the students here feel about the results of the 2010 elections. Let's take a look at what they said. With the Republicans gaining 65 seats in the House, the most in 100 years, do you think President Obama will change his policies or not?
I don't think so. He's been stubborn in the past, and I don't really see things changing too much.
Do you think that being on MTV's Real World Boston edition 1997 helped Scott Duffy to win a seat in Congress on Tuesday?
Well, that's an interesting question. I would probably say yes if you just look at the historical track record of electing U.S. representatives in government and being on TV. You got Ronald Reagan, you got Arnold Schwarzenegger, and now this guy, Duffy. So, it doesn't surprise me at all.
What are your thoughts on the bill to legalize marijuana in California not passing?
Personally, I think I would have liked to see how it would have worked in California to see if the economic benefits of passing marijuana would outweigh the social costs. I am disappointed it didn't pass, but it's not my state, and I feel like the voters made the decision that they wanted to make, and that's what they decided, so you have to kind of go with it.
There's definitely potential for a lot of taxes revenue to be gained from marijuana being legalized, but I don't necessarily know if the public is necessarily ready for that change yet. It's a really big political and social reform, so I think it's going to take some time for that to really come through.
If you don't use marijuana, you're probably not going to go out of your way to vote for it. And if you're already using marijuana, then you're probably too high to get to the voting booth anyway.
Do you think the results from the election will improve your chances of getting a job after graduation?
Yes, I think the results of the election will definitely improve my chances of getting a job. Republicans have always been more business-friendly than Democrats.
Well, I'm an English major, so I'm just looking for any job. I really don't know. I'm trying to be a screenwriter, so I don't think that really has much to do with economics or whatever, like politics. As soon as people stop going to movies, then we'll have a problem.
Well, actually, Natalie, that's an excellent question. However, with unemployment rates being as high as they are today, which is 9.6 in case you were wondering, there's really nowhere to go but up. For me personally, I don't think my Major League Baseball draft status will be affected, but other people may feel differently.
Well, Democrats have been evicted from the House, but with the presidency still and the Senate still under their control, I wouldn't count them out just yet. Now, the VP of Government Affairs for the Walt Disney Company will explain how a shift in the House can affect everyone's favorite mouse. Jen interviews Lafayette alum Susan Fox.
It might not be obvious to students why an entertainment and broadcasting company like Walt Disney needs to be involved in politics and elections, but how much of a role does the public sector actually end up playing in the operations of a conglomerate giant such as Disney? Is it larger than people perceive?
I think it's safe to say the answer to that is yes. And part of it is that for media companies who have operated with broadcast licenses historically, we're actually heavily regulated. We're heavily regulated by the Federal Communications Commission. And we're also, because of that, there's always a prospect of legislation coming out of the various commerce committees in the House and the Senate that could affect anything we do on any given day, whether it's from how we distribute our content to the content itself, whether it's the nature of the content that some legislatures find more or less objectionable, to the amount of money we charge for it or don't charge for it, or the copyright rules that protect our content. Any number of those issues could potentially affect the company, and because of that, the changes in Congress are actually very relevant to us.
Coming off of that, how do you think the recent shift in power will affect the industry, in particular Disney?
I think it's unclear how it will affect the industry. I think it's widely thought that the shift in power will result, at least for the next few years, in not a lot of legislation getting passed. So if we were in a position of wanting to get a particular piece of legislation passed, the environment with a shift between the House and the Senate being different parties is going to make it harder. If, on the other hand, we like things the way they are, then that's probably okay too. For a company our size, it varies. It varies on whether it's with part of the company, whether we'd like Congress to take some action or not. For the most part, we aren't asking for a lot. We sort of go about our business. But we do perceive that this will result in more gridlock than people are even accustomed to seeing.
Wow, sounds like Mickey and Miley are going to be affected by the election in a big way. Now let's go to Katie and Suzanne, who are roommates going into their sophomore year at Lafayette. They got a sweet number in the housing lottery, but they have no idea where they'd like to live. Don't worry though, they've got a housing guide to take them around to a few of the most popular properties on campus and find the one that's right for them. Take a look.
So this is McKean Hall. It's very close to Farrakhan. Woo, Wawa. So would you guys like to go look inside? Yeah. So here's the room we're going to be looking at today.
The location is key. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of close to that study room, but I don't know. There doesn't seem to be too much space in here.
So this is the lounge in McKean. As you can see, there's also a kitchen.
I think
we could do better. So this is South College. Guys, let's go in. So guys, what do you think of the size of this room? I like it a lot. It is the biggest dorm on campus. It's great for entertaining since the rooms are so large, but it gets a little bit loud because everyone entertains a lot. The kitchen.
Well, I give this one a plus, so.
Yeah. And there's the kitchen. And Katie looks like she's already making herself at home. So we are right here on historic March Field. This is Raymer Hall.
I love it.
Okay, let's go take a look at the room. It's also a special interest floor, so you'll be able to live with all of your friends or people that have the same interests as you.
Would the special interest be like bookwork, studying, homework? Partying?
So this is the room I want to show you guys. There's air conditioning in here as well.
There is. It's really hot.
There's air conditioning in here.
Okay, but at least it smells like cookies.
I feel like it's really small. Look at those closets. They're armoires. McKean, air conditioned, location.
Right by the study room and Farrakhan. Okay, so south, big rooms.
Big rooms, location again.
Yeah, lots of desk
Air
space.
conditioning.
Yeah, that was good.
Big rooms.
Yeah, but Raymer?
Small, air conditioned, but small.
It is small. It's also right on Marchfield.
It's an interest floor too.
Not far from the library. It's gonna be tough. What do we do?
After having thought long and hard about it, Katie and Suzanne decided on South College for their housing.
I loved living in South my freshman year, so I'm sure they'll have an awesome time. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure the basement is haunted, so, well, I guess they'll find out for themselves. Speaking of buildings, if you've been down on North 3rd Street lately, you're probably wondering what the commotion and construction buzz is all about. Well, the college plans to build a $10 million arts campus that will serve as a gateway to the main campus. Here's Shannon to tell us more.
Hi, I'm Shannon Neschke, and I'm sitting down here with the Dean of Admission and Financial Aid at Lafayette College, Greg MacDonald. Greg, it's nice to have you here today.
My pleasure, Shannon. Nice to meet you.
Now, what does this construction mean to us Lafayette students, and how will it benefit us?
Shannon, that's a great question. I think the construction of the arts campus on the North 3rd Street corridor is taking what many believe to be a liability as you enter campus and turning it into an asset. It's going to reshape the way people enter our campus. It's going to reshape how people driving by the campus look at the college. I think it's going to impact us in many ways that we may not have even considered yet.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about how the project is being funded?
Students really should not have any concern that this is going to have an impact on their current tuition or fees. It's my understanding that the vast majority of this project is being funded by a private gift from the Williams family.
What new facilities will be available for the students, and what programs are looking to benefit from those?
Well, I think the obvious beneficiaries are probably going to be the theater program and film and media studies. It's my understanding from the press conference that I attended, there's going to be a new black box theater. There's going to be a set and costume design shop, and I believe there's new visual and performing arts space on top of that. I think it's going to, as I said a moment ago, it's going to completely transform how people look at this campus and how they enter this campus to the benefit of all of us.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that we learned a little bit about the new facilities down in Easton. Thank you so much for
My pleasure.
joining us.
Thank you.
All right then, sounds like there's more of the project than most people realize. I'm looking forward to seeing how the final product looks. That's all we have time for today. From elections to construction and dorms to Disney, we're here to cover what matters most to you. If you've got feedback or a story idea, we'd like to hear it. Just visit our website at sites.lafayette.edu/thevibe and tell us what's on your mind. Thanks, Lafayette, and remember to tune in next week when Crew Me anchors a special episode featuring reports on the Lafayette-Lehigh rivalry. Until next time, keep on vibing. And here's Lafayette's own Ashley Juavinett to play us out.